corporate tax. Absolutely. Absolutely we should not reduce it. It should be ramped up, because statistics tell us and information tells us that most of the corporate taxes that we've given, or the Harper government gave in the last 5 years, the profits have gone into the executive class of companies, of which many companies are foreign-owned, American, i.e. American. So we believe we can use that money better. And by the way, it's a myth that they're creating jobs. They're not creating jobs by cutting corporate tax. The U.S. corporate tax is at 36%, and we want ours to be at 15%. There's something wrong there. You know, if it was so good, the Americans would have done it much earlier than we would have. So we would like to use that amount of money that is given to the corporations for child care, for education plan, for pension plans, for health care, and for environmental issues. Don't waste our time and money on cutting corporate taxes that do not create jobs. We want to reinvest that money and also help small and medium-sized businesses to hire new students or graduating students from colleges, universities, or even high schools. We have a record amount of students that do not continue after high school, which is something that we want to improve on. But corporate tax cuts are out. People are in.
All right, let's hear something from Lahides.
Yes, we believe that we need to keep a tax rate for corporations that are reasonable and that are in tune with the international community. We have one of the lowest tax bases for corporations, and we feel that that is unfair to the people of Canada, because at the same time as reducing corporate tax rates, we're raising tax rates for the individual Canadians. And as far as I'm concerned, and as far as my friends I'm sure are concerned, what we need to do is restructure our tax system so that lower paid earners do not pay as much income tax, if anything at all, below $20,000 a year. Okay, we need to support those people and ensure that they are not taxed. By giving corporations, multi-billion-dollar corporations, they're making record profits, we are handing them more money. It's unethical to do that when you know that the banks and all the bankers on Bay Street there are earning millions of dollars just in bonuses, ladies and gentlemen. This is bonuses. They're earning millions of dollars. And your hard-earned tax dollar is going to support these people. Well, we believe that we need an even playing field. We need to bring back some ethics here, where corporate tax rates do not stand at the level that they're at, because it's ridiculous. It's actually a slap in the face to the Canadian public. We need to ensure that individual tax rates go down. Corporate tax rates have to be at a level playing field. We already have a wonderful healthcare system, and companies, corporations choose to come to Canada because of that. Because in many other countries, ladies and gentlemen, that's not the case.
Janice?
Let me tell you what happens when an American company, as Louis says, does business in Canada where there's a lower tax rate. They have to pay higher taxes in the United States because their government doesn't like them getting subsidized by us. So our tax cuts go to pay for education and health care for the Americans instead of here. And of course they have a way bigger economy than us. They don't need our charity, you know, in the United States. You know, corporate tax cuts go to jobs overseas. They go to exploited labor, where Canadians are getting a very bad name because we are not living up to the social morals, you know, we have when doing business in Canada. We want to give the tax cuts to small business, because small business has to create jobs here for Canadians, and they're usually good multi-skilled jobs. We also want to give a tax credit of $4,500 for every company that will make a job in Canada. You know, put the taxes to where they will help Canadians, not people overseas.
Debating time.
Good.
Let's hear more from the green part.
Yes, we definitely need to start supporting the backbone of this country, and that is the young and vibrant entrepreneurs that do most of the hiring, I may add, in every community. It's the entrepreneur, it's the small business owners that are providing most of the jobs here in Canada and within our community. And we need to focus our attention more on them and on the employees. Because by doing so, then we are building a community that feels better about itself and that will work more because it's earning more. We need to stop discouraging people from working. We need to get them back to work. And by lowering people's and entrepreneurs' tax rate, they will be encouraged to go out and work. And that's what we need to do. Corporations are faceless, ladies and gentlemen, and they're transnational, and they're here today. They use our resources, and they're gone tomorrow, leaving the mess for the taxpayer to clean up. And we need to stop doing that. We need to make them pay.
I don't have a problem with having large corporations that have lots of jobs in our communities. I mean, that's good, but let's hold them accountable. You know, if we give them a bailout, I don't want the money going to bonuses for the board members. You know, I want it to go into investment, into the future of business and jobs here in Canada. I'm 47. I've been following politics since I was about 4. And I know that back when I was about 20, businesses paid about 60% of the tax revenue, and workers and, you know, Canadians' families paid about 40%. That has more than become the opposite. You know, it's more like 75-25 with us, you know, normal working class people with families they're trying to raise, paying the bulk of taxes in this country, and that's why we're having trouble affording things like health care and education.
Yeah, when Mr. Harper said even last night on the English debate that he's not reducing corporate tax, well, he's not telling the truth. He's only stating what he did 4 years ago or 2 years ago, that he made, they passed a law that the corporate tax rate will be decreasing. So what we want to do is bring it back to the 210 level and make it competitive. Right now we are the lowest in the G8 countries, lowest corporate tax rate. And you know what? We don't need that. We need our people to be looked after. We need the health care. We need the environmental issues. We need the child care and education. And we will use that money, like I said earlier, to subsidize new students when they graduate from high school, college, or universities. We will help small and medium-sized businesses who are the economic engine of Canada. It's not the corporate tax. Large corporations that are the economic engine of Canada. It's the small to medium-sized companies that you see around here rather than in major centers.
May I also add that in Canada, ladies and gentlemen, 1 in 8 children go hungry. This is here in Canada. It's not happening somewhere else. It's happening in Canada. And we need to focus our attention on reducing the tax burden on these families so that they could feed their children. Because if they're not feeding their children, what ends up happening is they go into these big box prisons, and that's where they get their education. Well, I would rather see these children being fed, being nurtured, and going to universities amongst our communities,
colleges,
and not in colleges, and not going into a prison system where they earn their meal or where they earn their education.
And let's talk about what these businesses are getting for their tax dollars. They're getting a healthy group of workers that have free health care, whereas in America, they're having to pay for their benefits, health care benefits, which cost a lot more than they do in Canada when you don't have free health care. They are getting a very well-educated workforce, whereas in Europe, businesses have to fund the colleges and universities, and they have to pay often for the education of their future workers. So it's not like businesses are, you know, that we're being unfair and we're taxing them. You know, they are getting great value for their money here in Canada.
But even the way of the bailout, like giving away, to me is differential. Okay, while bailout the automobile industry, there are also many other industries that require like government help, such as the construction industry.
That's right.
Well, what about the social
Exactly.
social sciences? We need assistance to our frontline workers that are in the healthcare system, that are assisting battered women, that are assisting people.
All right, thanks. Last question, so we have lots of answers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have one more question coming up after break. Stay with us.